to turn this over to Tony in just one second, but before we get started, just so you know, the idea is to cover both of the improv shows that we do here. So we're going to talk about Pants and Boomtown, okay? So it's the theme is kind
and
of...
we're going to talk a little bit, I'm going to talk a little bit about the outreach tour and all that stuff.
Education stuff.
Okay, and the kids show because John D's here and
Yeah,
he
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So three. We've got a three-prong.
Yeah, we could do the
And
kids
it's
show.
almost four because we're going to talk a little bit about El Rio.
Okay.
Well, the outreach tour.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's education tied into Pants, tied into improv.
Well, we can edit out swear. I think a couple beats might get us some street cred.
Right, that's what we need.
Some street cred.
I mean, I can just throw it random.
Let's just beep out, like, it doesn't even have to be inappropriate. Let's just beep out things Renee says to make it sound like she's a sailor.
Just beeping out things that aren't swear. Well, Sarah, you can't let them do that.
I don't know if I have final say.
I know.
And then, just because Jess wasn't here, they're talking about doing word association game to do a little
It's a
bit
little
of
warm up.
Tony's going to play with us.
Okay. Are we recording it?
Yeah.
Just
We might throw it in somewhere in the...
Can we do the
Intro or
patterns? Should we
outro?
do the patterns one?
I think we should just do straight because we only
Okay.
have 5 of us.
What is it? How, now explain to
In
me.
the-
how it
Tony,
plays.
I'll just need you to
Yeah, I
lean
need to-
closer as you're going.
It's just word.
You guys have all been fine.
Great.
Okay.
So is it like, what's that game, Apples to Apples? Is that
It's
what
kind of like, oh, it's word association.
So,
But you're going around in a circle and you're only
Yeah.
associating, your word only associates off the person who was just said, not like the whole thing.
Okay, okay.
So you just kind of go ahead, and and you don't censor yourself. It's the first thing that pops into your mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to say poop every time.
That's okay.
That sometimes happen. Asparagus.
He.
And butter. Cow.
No.
Moon.
Man.
Little tiny elf. Ears.
Toes.
Toenail polish.
17. Magazine.
Playboy.
Western world.
The bad man.
Cowboy hat. Cowboy boots.
Cow.
Well, it's come full circle.
Yeah, it
Full
is.
circle. We like
Black
that.
and white.
Newspaper.
Blood. Vampire.
Zombies.
Cranberries.
Oh, linger.
Nice.
Longer. People.
Audience.
Theatron.
Theater.
Boxes. Present.
Christmas.
Evil reindeer.
Ooh. Bad Santa.
Little mustache. Caitlin.
Tongue acting.
Teeth.
Pole.
Fireman. Red.
Love.
Hate.
War.
Fighting. Sad.
Peace.
Pie.
4.
Kick. Ball.
You know, what's funny about this around word association is that all of them associate, but people listening to the podcast might not understand what pie and
Of
four.
course. Of course not. Or toenail polish and I don't even understand.
I get that. I don't know. That worked for me.
Well, for our listeners, can you, Jessica, maybe, and all of you can chime in, but define kind of what improv comedy is?
I
Hey,
think
pause. Do
Yeah,
that again.
okay. Can you define for the audience, and everyone can chime in, what improv comedy is?
for me, I like to kind of, it can be a lot of things, but I think let's go with where creation and execution are happening simultaneously.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah, thanks. That's a favorite one of mine. Because you could also say, and this is what we're saying for kids, is it means making stuff up on the spot.
Yeah.
You don't have a plan, you don't have a script. So that's an easier way to kind of communicate it to kids. But.
Which is so amazing for children, because that's what they do all day long, is make up stuff for themselves.
They
like little
live in a
play.
little improv universe.
They do.
Yeah.
So the idea of actually bringing them a play that's improv and they can sort of help along is really exciting, I think.
And all kinds of theater. I like to call this thing the creative spirit. Like plays, musicals, improv, where things are going great, right? But I think in improv, because the audience is such a key part, and we're making this stuff up, when it's going well, the creative spirit, it's like blowing the roof off the house. So it's like there's nothing like it.
There's nothing more immediate.
Yeah, I feel like usually there is a bit of a crevasse between the idea and then the execution that we have to traverse. And
That's good too.
She's getting like
And
all
so
those
there's a bit of
$4 or $4 words.
there does feel like there's a bit of magic there, that we're going so quickly at warp speed but in this process, which is a testament, I feel. I'm not an improviser. This is Renee. I'm not an improviser, but I have such an admiration for what you guys do, because it really, truly does take such wit and quick thinking and trust and listening on stage.
Yeah, and trust and listening are so incredibly important. And as far as like the wit thing, it helps to have wit, but what I found that like helps more is to not have the impulse to shoot down your own ideas in your brain before they even come out. The little sensor that sits in your brain that says, that's dumb, that's stupid, no, don't say that, that won't work. Is to shut that little guy down for, the hour or the hour and a half that you're improvising, and just kind of trust your own brain, which is a very difficult thing to do.
Yeah, and I don't know if we did a basic what improv, so we at least it varies from Boomtown to Pants on Fire, but like we'll take a simple word, suggestion, maybe a relationship, a location, and we'll take that and we just allow it to inspire several scenes, perhaps a whole play like in the Pants on Fire, and we're creating it right in front of the audience right then. You'll never see the same show twice. That's what it is.
How long has improv been part of Creed's season?
Jonathan and I ask ourselves this question every year because we forget, but we believe the first Boomtown, we could go back to programs if we weren't lazy and figure this out, was 2007. So if it was 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, this is the 7th season of Boomtown. And it was really cool the way it got started, is it just was sort of a pipe dream of mine. And I was very formal and very, studious, and I put together this whole proposal for Mo, for Maurice LeMay, when he was here, and I brought it into his office, and I had a copy for him and a copy for me, and he just laughed at me. He was like, what is this? Just tell me your idea. And so I did, and then, I didn't hear from him. I was living in Chicago at the time. I went back to Chicago. And I didn't hear a yay or a nay forever, so I kind of assumed the idea was dead. And I even drawn up a budget and how it could make money, or how it could at least not cost the theater any money. And then in December, I get an email from him just saying, what are we going to call this? And I'm like, oh, I guess it's on. And I sent him this long list of names. I just pooped out a bunch of names onto this email and sent it to him. And pick one. And he wrote, he picked one out of the middle of it and just wrote, I got a single email back in all capital letters, Boomtown. And it was born.
It's a perfect name.
It is a perfect name because it's indicative of energy and explosion, but also of this place, which is cool.
Now, with you being from Chicago, that's kind of where...
Well, yeah, I'm not even from there. I
Well,
lived there
you were in there for a while, right?
Yeah.
So, that's kind of where improv has its roots.
It's a great place to study improv. I got to work a lot with Improv Olympic when I was there, and I was part of this little 4-man group called Speakeasy when I was there, which was really cool. And I still like to, keep in touch with those guys because they're all just completely brilliant. But yeah, Chicago-style long form is kind of what we wanted to do with Boomtown. And also we found eventually our own kind of flavor of Chicago-style long form. But we didn't want it to be like Whose Line Is It Anyway, which is a very gimmick-based, short form, kind of more, gimmick-based improv.
Now, how does the improv help you as performers in other things that you do?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it keeps you on your toes. I think the most funny things happen when you actually see someone, taking something in, moment by moment. And when that happens, the lights, I mean, it's wonderful. It's insane. And the wonderful thing about improv is that happens all the time. Because you can't plan your answer. You can't have your little script ready. So you have to react to whatever is given. And practicing that a lot just makes it possible to take that into other shows, you know, or be a part of that.
It's funny because like we're gonna do like some Shakespeare later, and you know Shakespeare's you got to do a lot of homework. You know your lines, and you know what you're doing with them, and you know what all you come in with all these ideas, and you're like, I know my performance already, and then you forget that your best performance is if what you're doing is based on what you're given, and improv constantly reminds you of that because you'll be dead in the water.
That's all
Otherwise,
you have is what you're
dead.
given
Yeah.
by your scene part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just listen and respond.
Yeah, that's why I love
Go for
improv
what you want.
so much, is because it forces you as an actor just to listen, because if you don't, there's just no way improv is going to happen. And so it's putting you in this this little crucible of listening where you just absolutely have to do it. And and that's fascinating because you get so much, like we've been working, a lot of Boomtown's been working together for a long time, so we have this trust with each other, and we have this thing we like to call group mind, where we kind of are, group mind is just a way of saying we're on the same page. But every once, the most brilliant moments happen where we surprise each other, I think.
Yes.
Because every once in a while somebody will come out with something, and it will just be so fresh and interesting and surprising, and I never thought they had that in them. And then all of a sudden everything's new again, and listening goes up to even a higher level because, you're just being surprised in the moment.
And like this scene, it might be a scene that involves like 10 people, and you're like, how is this not just a shouting fest? How is there this intangible communication going on, and there's still we know where to focus, we know where the main story, but it happens.
You can't be on another page than someone else. You can't be thinking ahead because your only option is to be right in the moment.